morning, everybody, and welcome back to Garden with Najet. My name is Najet, and I'll be your hostess. This is also, hold on, here's Toronto. I'm currently dog sitting, but I really wanted to come out here really quick and talk to you guys about the benefits of a raised garden. So this is my brand new raised bed. I'm super excited about her just because for the past couple years, I haven't been really able to plant any type of root vegetable, considering that I live down here in Georgia and basically all of our land is clay. So I'm super excited about her because I finally have been able to fill it up with some loose soil and start planting root vegetables such as like carrots, radishes, potatoes, and onions for the upcoming year. With a raised bed, you don't always have to just plant root vegetables. You can literally plant anything that you want in here. You just need to make sure that you're using the right fertilizer. Say, for example, if you are growing cucumbers or tomatoes in a raised bed, you want to add a high nitrogen fertilizer when you are starting those plants. The number one most important thing when you are planting in a raised bed is to remember row spacing. So I do have a couple specially designed charts on my website on allthingsgirly.org that do show over 75 different varieties of fruits and vegetables, and every single one of the charts has a certain row spacing so you can determine how close together or how far apart you want to be planting these. Raised beds are great for keeping soil nutrients at a stable rate. It also helps with water drainage, so your entire bed will not get too wet, and then it also helps with weeds. So as you can see in my other garden, it was filled with weeds, and I finally just posted a video like last week about me doing a whole entire garden video makeover. So if you want to go check that out, you can. But there were so many weeds in my garden, and a raised bed really helps with not having weeds. If you are somebody who does not want to constantly pull out weeds, keep maintaining the garden, then I suggest having a raised bed for you. There are a few different types of raised beds. The one that I have right now, this is a metal raised bed. You can get it off of like something like Amazon or something like that. But I do see a lot of gardeners with these wooden frame raised beds, which eventually I want to make one of those. You could also do it with bricks as well. Some raised beds, such as this one, came with a plastic tarp. It also came with a mesh tarp, and then something else, I can't quite remember, and then a structure that basically goes around this to make it into an entire greenhouse. I did not add that onto my raised bed this year just because I want to use all of those structures that came with this separately into my own makeshift little mushroom kind of growing type studio. And so I'm basically going to use the plastic tarp and then the structure that came with this to grow mushrooms instead. Now you could use this on top of a raised bed if you want to protect against frost, sunlight, or any type of pests that remain in your garden. So like for example, with the kale behind me, I have been constantly picking off aphids every single day. Aphids, they don't cause too much damage in my garden. However, you do want to keep aware of them especially if you're starting a spring garden, because you are going to have to constantly pick them off just with like little water or something like that. They don't damage your crops completely like cabbage worms do. I filled up this raised bed about to right here, and I filled it up with a bunch of leaves and then sticks. What the leaves are going to do is add volume, and the sticks are also going to add volume, but it's going to make sure that once you add this soil on top of the leaves, it doesn't break down too quickly. Now, of course, when we're constantly watering this and there's soil on top of the raised beds, the leaves are going to break down, which is essentially what we do want. We don't want to break them down too quickly, because then this is all going to sink. Once they start breaking down, it will add nutrients back into the soil by basically decaying. I did add 3 cubic feet of garden soil, and then I also added 1 bag of mushroom compost. I always use mushroom compost in any type of garden just because I do feel like it adds nutrients to my soil and my plants seem to love it. So I did do that, and then I also added a heavy phosphorus and potassium fertilizer. That way, since these are all root vegetables, it can establish the root. This is the gardening soil that I use for all of my root vegetables or anything that requires high phosphorus and potassium. And then this is the one that I use for all of my green leafy greens, such as like cucumbers, tomatoes, kale, anything that requires a lot of nitrogen. So I just wanted to show everybody my makeshift raised bed. Here's Lincoln. I'm dog sitting, like I said, so little butt. So this is my makeshift raised bed. What I have in here are kohlrabi, if that's how you could pronounce it, and turnips. So I basically just filled up this raised bed with coconut fiber, mushroom compost, in-ground soil, and everything's pretty much thriving. You can see that the bulbs on some of the kohlrabi are starting to form finally. So I'm excited about that. Some are smaller than others, as you can see here. But they're getting there, so I'm pretty excited. And yeah, I mean, having this makeshift raised bed out of a wagon was pretty beneficial for me. Everything's perfectly fine. On the top of the soil, I put a bunch of leaves. That way the soil would retain its moisture because kohlrabi and turnips need constant moisture while growing. And that's pretty much it, you guys. I appreciate everybody for watching. Stay tuned for more videos, and we will carry along this journey in 2024 about at-home gardens. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.